Joining me, two New Jersey criminal defense attorneys, both are former prosecutors. We've got Al Wunsch III and David Bruno. Great to have you both here. Al, I'll start with you. What are these calls revealing?
They reveal motive. They reveal that Paul was hiding by taking money. And even though they're saying it was $77,000, that's no big deal. There's a violation of the trust. There's a violation of his brother's dependence on him doing his job with regards to this insurance policy. There's a chance the policy could lapse. And his brother is upset. And this is probably indicative of other problems that have been going on with regards to the honesty and or dishonesty of Paul. And it shows the motive. This man was now humiliated by his brother. His goose is cooked, the jig is up, and now he's known for being, stealing this and putting his brother into a very, very precarious position. And that shows motive.
David Bruno, looking at this, the timing of it as well. I mean, this is the last time they speak unless there were words exchanged at the time of the murder, if Paul is responsible for it. It's not clear if there was. But what do these calls reveal to you?
I agree with Al, murder, motive. But guess what? It's also critical for the prosecutor to defend against this third-party liability, right? Because the defense opened that there's somebody else responsible. It could be the third brother, and what this does is just it frames from a timing perspective this problem that the defendant had. And then you just couple it with the other forensics, the surveillance video at the defendant's house shortly before that fire, and it really just ties it all together. And I believe that prosecutor's opening statement was fabulous, Vinny, because it laid out all of the state's proofs and it left to the very end, this last piece, to really just sew it all together for prosecutors. And prosecutors don't have to prove motive. It is not an element in New Jersey statutes for murder. It is not, but it is very important when prosecutors do have it to explain sort of like the unexplainable as to how someone would kill the brother and his family in such a brutal way. Final point, sounds a lot like Murdoch.
Yeah, it does, right? Al, I'm looking at this and I'm listening to the tone of Keith, and obviously he's angry, but he's frustrated. But I don't hear the kind of anger like, I'm never going to talk to you again, Paulie. He's almost, and all this is taking place after he already caught him once doing something wrong with the account. And he said, oh, it was a mistake, I'm sorry, I'll pay you back, whatever. And then he starts doing these fraudulent statements. But in the end, it doesn't seem to me that Keith is at the point where he is ready to write his brother off. Like, you're not a brother to me anymore. This is just, he is anxious. He's trying to figure out, because he spent the whole day trying to uncover where these thousands and thousands of dollars of payments for this huge whole life insurance policy went.
Well, he's definitely sounding frustrated, and he's definitely sounding upset, and he's getting a runaround from his brother. So, I mean, even though he didn't, do the kiss of death or anything along those lines, and didn't send Fredo out to go fishing, he did sound frustrated enough, and it's like, I really want to believe you, but I can't. And I'm sure he was being, spoken to by his wife, who's listening to him screaming like well, I need the effing code. I need it. What do you mean you don't have your TD code? That frustration is showing an element of, I can't trust this guy anymore, and he's put me in a very bad financial position. We know that Paul's situation financially was very, very, delicate, and that if he loses this job and he loses his brother's trust and he loses his brother's support, that lifestyle is going to go right out the window. So the brother is frustrated. The brother is upset. I mean, he has not done anything. He didn't make a threat, but you certainly know he was not going to be treating him the same way after this phone call.
David, what do you think happens if there's no murder the next day? What do you think happens between these two brothers?
You know, that's really up to the victim here. I don't know. I think maybe at the very least a possible fraud allegation, right? And we only have one side of this call, all right? We don't have the defendant's side of the call. We also don't know how this was going through the defendant's mind. And clearly, I mean, to do what he did allegedly is he thought everything was going to fall. He thought his life was over. It was catastrophic in his mind, obviously. Whatever was going through his mind, what had to be at like the top level of what he thought was going to be the end of his life.
Yeah, it's so tragic. Again, I don't understand getting all the way to that point of this murder that takes place to get there. But I think prosecutors did a nice job laying out some of this evidence. David Bruno, great to have you on the program. Al's going to stick around coming up next.